That's Retro Fandango. That's Retro Fandango. When it's Android over iPhone and you can keep your stupid amiibo and always bashing on Nintendo. But that's Retro Fandango. That's Retro Fandango. Thanks, Retro Fandango. Wow!
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to episode number 224 of Retro Fandango. I'm here. My name is Kevin. I'm here with my pal Richard. It's been a month since we recorded. I'm pretty sure I hit go live. There's a counter up top that says we're live, so
Yeah.
I can take its word for it. So it's been a whole month. What you been up to?
Well, we're jumping right into it, huh?
Well, what else would you like to talk about? I mean, I see you got a haircut.
I did get the summer cut. Yes.
Yeah.
Mostly because for a while I was trying to be professional, and I started parting my hair, and I was combing it over to the right,
Mm-hmm.
and then I noticed some photos of myself taken from back here, and wow, I totally looked like I was balding.
Oh,
Well, not look like, it was more obvious that I'm balding when I
Yeah.
was combing my hair over. So I was like, how come nobody said anything? And then I decided, oh, I got to start pushing it back the way I used to, because it's a more effective comb over than combing it to the side.
I actually, Steven is here in the chat, and he's saying Kevin has no idea what you're talking about. I actually know exactly what he's talking about because I started to grow in my hair probably about 5 years ago. I started to let's just see what happens. Let's just let it grow. And Sarah just looked at me one day and she just said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "What do you mean?" It's like, just go cut your hair. No, just don't. All right. I was kind of curious to see where it was at, but it's pretty obvious. There's not much up there. But you know what they say? Grass doesn't grow on a busy street. Neurons are constantly flying around in here.
Okay.
It can't hair can't go up here. There's too much activity. Like when you ever see like in the comic books, the like Brainiac or like those guys with the big heads because they're super smart. They don't have hair on them because grass.
They do have some pretty cool veins popping out there.
No, there's veinage in there too. Don't you worry. Don't worry. Lots happening.
I can still pull it off from certain angles.
You have a very good head of hair. I would be happy if I had that much hair. And Steven has a lot of hair too. I'm very jealous of you guys. Yes, the big brain guys from Star Trek. Speaking of Star Trek, I watched a movie written by a Star Trek writer. I hope I kept it over here. Yeah, I did. We'll talk about that when it's time to talk about movies.
A movie? Wait! A movie written by a Star Trek guy?
A Star Trek writer. Yeah, a guy who wrote
Star Trek writer.
Episodes of Star Trek. I watched the movie.
The original series?
Yeah. I watched the movie.
Okay.
By one Jerome Bixby.
What episodes did he write?
I think his most famous episode is Mirror Mirror. Spock with the goatee. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then what was the movie?
I guess we're going to get into it.
Go into it.
All right. Let me see here. I have to find it. Okay, we watched it last night. It is called It, the Terror from Beyond Space.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
It was
I've never heard of this one.
I hadn't either. I found it. I actually can't remember where I found it. I imagine it was still sealed. The original sticker price was $10.99 on it, so I imagine I didn't spend more than $4. On the back, it claims to be the movie that Alien took a lot of inspiration from. But when I watched the movie, I couldn't find a lot of Alien inspiration. other than spoiler
There,
alert.
there's an alien in it.
No. They open up the ship. They're on a ship, and they open up the
Mhm.
doors to suck all the air out of the ship, and that's how they kill the alien.
Like Spaceballs?
They do that in Spaceballs?
Well, they
They,
suck air in Spaceballs.
they do. Yeah, they turn the suck into a blow. Can I say that on YouTube? I think I can.
We'll find out. You
No,
better not, because I just put my account on here. Don't get me in trouble.
you know how they to suck the alien out. Like she opens up the door and
Blow the alien
blow the
out.
alien out. Did the same in
As Data informed Riker, that's a common misconception.
did the same in Aliens, the
Yep.
sequel to Alien. And they don't really blow the alien out. The alien stays in the ship, but it needs like it needs a lot of oxygen to live because it's on Mars. They go to Mars,
Mhm.
and this is so this movie was made in 1958, and it takes place in the future in 1973 when man has is exploring the cosmos.
All right.
And man has settled its first ship. Its first ship has landed on the planet Mars, and they are trying to get in contact with the ship. There's another ship that's coming to it because there was more than one ship that was going to Mars. It was a backup ship, I guess, if the first ship didn't make it. And they get a report that everybody on the ship is dead except for one person. So the second ship is actually cutting its trip short, and it's going to land, pick up the one guy, and bring him back to Earth for the trial of killing everybody on the ship. Of course, the guy is like, I didn't kill anybody. They just kept dying. I don't know what was happening. I have no idea what was going on. They've just disappeared. They couldn't find any bodies or anything like that. So as they were picking up this guy, one of the dumb guys working on the bottom of the ship accidentally left one of the security doors open, and that's how the alien got onto the ship. So then the whole movie is them flying back to Earth, and then the alien, makes its presence known, and they spend the rest of the movie trying to kill the alien with grenades and guns and bazookas. This is on a spaceship, by the way. And nothing's killing it. They tried electricity. They set like a trap that it had enough electricity to kill 30 humans. And the alien came down and went, oh, looked at its hand, and then it just kept moving. It was pretty good for a monster movie from the 50s that was obviously trash. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
It absolutely sounds like 50s monster movie.
Yeah. I mean, if this was an episode of Star Trek, it'd probably be one of the worst episodes of Star Trek. But yeah, it was a fun movie. So it with an exclamation point. The Terror from Beyond.
The Terror from Beyond Space. He looks like Creature from the Black Lagoon.
He does a bit, and you can totally see the seam underneath his arm.
Oh, and he's given the Vulcan salute.
He a little bit, yeah. Yeah, he only has 3 fingers, but he's kind of doing that. And yeah, you can totally see the zipper on his back too. But good fun movie. And there's a thing that they would always do in 50s movies to show the girl being carried by the monster. Yep. Even though
I was just thinking of that.
Yeah, it doesn't happen in the movie. Not at once is the monster carrying the girl, but they did that with
just like a Robbie the Robot.
Yeah,
in
The Day the Earth Stood Still. Or Forbidden Planet and The Day the Earth Stood Still. Like all those movies show that? Yeah, on the poster. It doesn't happen in the movie. Yeah, they got Gort
really
holding up the look at the movie poster.
The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Wow,
poster.
Yeah, well, I should be looking that up actually.
Oh yeah, look at that! Absolutely.
Can you share? Are you able to present if you click on? Is that something a co-host can do?
I lost my thing. Let's see. Oh,
Which,
present.
yeah.
Share screen. Share screen has a
This is great audio,
Okay.
by the way. People are loving it.
Select window or screen. Entire screen. Are you getting any of this?
No.
Allow.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Here we go. Add the
There you
stream.
go.
There you go. Yeah. Look at that, eh?
Check
See?
that out.
Isn't that
And
something?
he's shooting laser beams while he's carrying her.
Yeah. Which is something that also never happened in the movie.
Right.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do I stop sharing this nonsense? Stop
Yeah,
screen.
there you go.
There we go.
There you go.
Okay.
Sounds like an American spaceship. I guess he was referring to the
You're darn
bazookas and
right.
grenades.
Were they
Yeah.
smoking cigars while they were doing it?
All the way through the movie, all having cigs. There was, and it was another fun game we played too while we're watching it. Is how old is everyone? Because there was a guy that looked like he was 65, and Sarah's like, I got to know how old that guy is. So, we went from 60 to 65.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. In the 1950s, someone who appears to be 65
Okay, wait a minute.
has to be significantly younger.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find an image of him. This
They
is the
didn't
whole
have
show
any,
now.
They didn't have any keto diet plans back in the 50s, so people aged horribly.
Oh, well, I think there was three things going on back then. First of all, smoking, which aged you.
Smoking, yes.
Second, what was the cure for everything? Just take a shot of
Alcohol.
whiskey, get some alcohol in you.
Hard alcohol, yes. Everybody had the little the little mini bar in their own house, or at
And
the very least
yep.
a liquor cabinet.
And the third thing, what would they used to tell you if you weren't feeling well, if you're feeling sickly? What would they tell you to do? If you were
Rub some dirt on it.
If you were looking pale, you're like looking pale. What should you do?
Get some sun.
That's right. Go out and get some sun, and that
No
ages you
sunscreen.
too. That's right. So I think those were the three things that were going on. Let's see if I can. Oh, that was the priest from Little House on the Prairie. Oh wow, that's interesting. I can't find. Okay, well anyway, I'll just tell you his age. So we both thought he was in his early 60s at least, and he was 41 years old.
I was gonna say 40s.
41,
early 40s.
And then there was another woman who was like the older woman, and she had to be like 55 or whatever, and she was 47. 47. Yeah.
Well, not so bad on her.
No, but this one guy was like
slightly closer.
Balding, gray hair, like all gray hair, wrinkled up, smoking away. 41 years old.
Yep.
All right. What have you been up to?
Oh gosh. All right. Well, I guess I gotta jump into my movies right away. You know what? I'll do a different story first. Because we didn't record like 2 weekends ago. And that one was my fault because I was at a karate tournament all weekend. Not for myself.
I didn't think so.
Not for myself, no. My wife and my kids, they take a little karate class nearby.
Ooh, Rocket Sauce has a new job.
Hey, Rocket Sauce.
Oh, good.
We're reporting live from my new job. Oh, well, I hope they let you listen because I'm going to be talking about Stallone pretty soon.
Oh,
Ryan. Stay tuned. Anyway, they take this karate class, but they weren't. Oh, Stephen also listening from his new job. We're gonna get 2 people fired today.
Listen, Stephen has a new job every 2 weeks, so
that is fair. He's always listening from a new job. Anyway, my wife and kids, they take this karate class, and they were having this big international tournament, and they're not competing. Like they don't do full contact karate or anything like that. It's much more tame than that. But anyway, we were helping out because they asked for volunteers to come to this tournament. That's it. I was staring at karate people do their kata.
Yep.
Where they just do the motions,
Yeah.
this thing, and it's totally boring. It's not like, haha, I'm gonna fight you and everything. It's like this slow move. I punch up here, I scream, that kind of stuff. But it was kind of fun because I saw 3 Ninja Turtle weapons. There were people
Oh.
with bow staffs,
Yeah.
there were people with sais, and there were people with nunchucks.
Like
No
real.
swords though. Well, it was a real stick,
Yeah.
and the sais were real metal.
Yeah.
They're not sharp,
Ah.
Turtles lied to me. They're not sharp.
Well, theirs just might not be sharp.
Maybe. I guess, when you get to the certain level, you start grinding them on the stone.
Yeah.
So they're doing their thing, and the first day, I'm watching everybody, and they go to like a mat, and they have 5 judges sit around them. 4, like one on each corner of the mat, and then one, sitting directly in front of them. So there's 5 judges all like watching them from different angles, and they do their thing, and then at the end, the judges, they hold up like a scorecard. And I'm watching, like, okay, that looked pretty good. And then all the judges hold up, like, 6.5, 6.7. And all the judges, they don't talk to each other before showing their numbers, but they're all like super close to each other, like a 6.5, 6.7. It's never like one person says a 9 and one person says a 4 or anything like that. So I don't know what they're looking at. I don't get it. I've never studied this stuff. I don't know. But then the second day, there was this old man who's like one of the, I don't know, the uppity ups of the event. And this guy's like in his early 70s. And at the beginning of the day, he gets up, he's like, I'm going to do a demonstration and show my kata. And he doesn't have weapons. He's just like with his hands and his feet. And so he gets up and he does his stuff. And at the end of it, I was like, now I get it. Now I get why everybody was getting like 6s and 7s, because this guy in his 70s was so smooth and so sharp and crisp with his movements, and he's getting that like like the sound of their arm hitting the fabric of their uniform there and everything. I was impressed. I was like, this guy, he looked like he was having trouble walking up there, but as soon as he started his thing, it's like it looked like perfection. So I thought that was kind of neat.
What was his score?
And it got they didn't score him because he
Oh,
was just doing a
I
demonstration. But
see.
I'm sure if he did get a score, it would have been significantly higher.
Hmm.
And then after that, watch, and most of it kind of got pretty dull. Yeah, like Splinter,
Yeah,
just
he
like
was-
Splinter, exactly.
All right.
It's like when you see the turtles and you think, wow, they're doing pretty good. They're Ninja Turtles. They're Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Once Splinter gets up there, then you see the real stuff.
Shows you how it's done.
Exactly, taking care of business. Anyway, that was kind of a neat weekend, but it kind of became a long weekend. Anyway, then I got back to watching movies.
All right.
There we go. There's my karate story.
Cool.
All right, I'll do this while Ryan is still able to hang out. I just watched, and it's good that we had to delay this recording for a couple days because I was able to finish off the Rocky series.
Nice.
Because I've seen Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over the years. I've seen them all, but I had never watched Rocky Balboa, that final one, which is almost a 20-year-old movie now.
Yeah.
And
It's pretty wild.
Still, yeah. But I had never gotten like upgraded my Rockies. I had the original DVD, and I watched that one so many times. But I was like, I gotta get the Blu-ray of this someday. And I was always looking for the set, but for some reason I can never find the set locally, or if it's online, it's kind of a hefty price. I walked into a No, I haven't watched Creed yet.
Oh, okay.
I know. There's like a new one coming out, right? They're doing a third one.
There's a 1 and a 2, and I think a 3 was just in theaters earlier this year.
3. Oh, was
think.
it already
I think.
out there?
Or maybe not. I don't know.
I don't know. I'll watch them at some point.
There's three,
Um.
two of which star Rocky. Oh, Rocky's not in the third one? Wow.
Oh, spoilers.
I don't know how I
Anyway,
feel
I
about
walked
that.
into a secondhand shop and they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all like individual Blu-rays. It wasn't the set, but they were for a good price. So I was like, "Yep, I'll take all of those." Grabbed them, took them home, and I just finally started watching them. And I gotta say,
Mm,
while I love the series, like it's fun. Like there are good ones, there are bad ones, but they're all entertaining. Like I can
yes,
get some entertainment out of all the Rocky movies
I agree.
for different reasons.
Yes.
But my first thoughts of ranking them is exactly the release order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll
I
probably
don't.
shift a couple around a little bit. For
Yeah.
entertainment value, I'll probably switch a few things around. In terms of like ranking them as films, I'd say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is appropriate.
I have to disagree. I think that that Rocky Balboa was the best one since 2. So I would go 1,
I
2,
uh-huh.
6, 3, 4, 5. Maybe I'd alternate 3 and 6, maybe, because half of 3 is really good.
3 is pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
And in terms of what they're trying to do with the story and character and everything, 1 is fantastic. 2 is
It's
it
pretty good.
starts in the right way,
Yeah.
but ultimately the goal is let's just have a fight. You know, the first movie isn't about a boxing match. The first movie is all drama about the character. It
About the
just happens to
comeback and
be
yeah. The
right about him proving to
underdog.
himself that he is, capable of more and getting his life together. He's gone down this bad path. It's a great movie. 2 kind of goes with like a fun direction where okay, now he's got the fame, he's got the money, and then he's just kind of losing control. He's still essentially the same character. From 3, Rocky starts to evolve. He's not the dumb, you know, bum from the street anymore. He's starting to change to become a little bit more educated and sophisticated. He learns how to read in the second one. You can see a little progression there. But ultimately, it's equal parts drama and action movie by 3. They're
Yeah.
definitely doing the action thing. It's just
Well,
any excuse to get to a fight.
and I think the next 2 films, even the sixth one to a certain extent, they kind of fall into the same formula. Like
Hmm.
okay, 1 is the him overcoming, being the underdog kind of thing. 2 was I can't, yeah, I guess 2. No, 2 was like the rematch, right, between the 2.
2 was the rematch, but they did enough with his character where it was him dealing with the fame and money and
Yeah.
all that, and it was a nice build up to 3 because one of the great things about 3 at the beginning is he essentially became Apollo. That he wasn't taking it
Yeah.
seriously. He had the
Yeah.
flashy gym, and it was all about the fame and the
Right.
status and everything.
But it
And
it,
then
it didn't if I'm remembering correctly, it's been a while since I watched them. But
mhm.
3 he also had an injury, right? And they're like, "Oh, if you fight again, this won't go. This isn't good."
Was
Did that
there?
start in 3 or in 4? I just remember like there
Um,
was like it just kept they just kept going in that direction. Like every movie he had a different injury and he really shouldn't fight again, but he had to fight for whatever reason, but if he fights again, it could kill him kind of thing.
there might have been. Oh gosh, I watched these one a night for the past 6 nights, and now I'm a little fuzzy. But they might have. They might have. Um, but still, that movie's pretty entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so Saucier
For
says that there's currently a Rocky IP feud going on between Stallone and some Hollywood bigwig. So that might
Oh,
be
so is
why
that why he's not in it? Because
in
they're
3.
claiming
Yeah.
rights?
Sauce says that Creed 1 and 2 do Rocky justice, and he would rank them in 1, 2, 3, 4, Creed 1, Creed 2, 5, then Balboa. Wow,
Oh my
Balboa
goodness.
lower
Hang
than
on. 1, 2,
5?
3, 4. Creed 1, 2. What about Creed 3? You haven't seen that one?
What? It was Balboa really that bad? Was I on
I
drugs when I
I'll
was
get to
watching it?
it. I'll get to it.
Okay.
So part 4 is just pure action. It's also a nice tight like 90 something minute movie. I
Yeah,
forgot how short it was.
yeah,
So it's dumb, it's stupid, but it
it
is,
is.
entertaining for the one-liners and, the little moments and the punching to the beats of the song and, that kind of
And
stuff. And
as
the robot.
yeah, Steven points out the dumb robot.
Happy
As,
birthday, Bali. Yeah.
yeah, Polly. Yeah,
5 is always stupid. 5 just never felt right. The street fight,
it's a very
they
awkward movie. Yeah.
it's very awkward because again, Rocky had like a mental evolution. He went from kind of being the dumb bum to gaining intelligence. He didn't talk like Rocky anymore. He
Mm-hmm.
spoke a little more eloquently. Rocky in the first movie was like a motor mouth. Whenever he was
Mm-hmm.
around Adrian or something, he would just, start rambling awkwardly. He had this like little nervous tick where he'd start like throwing punches whenever he felt uncomfortable or nervous. All of that disappeared, over the next couple of movies. To like part 4, he's curing the Cold War between
Yeah,
the U.S. and Soviet Union.
yeah. Reagan couldn't
He's
do it, but Rocky had the
Rocky could
formula.
do it.
Yeah.
He got the slow clap. It was great.
Yeah.
So part 5, like it reminded me a lot of Spider-Man 3, which always becomes the example now for when there's just too many eggs in one basket. There's so many things going on. There's him getting brain damage. There's him wanting to retire. There's him losing his money because Paulie, gave power of attorney to their accountant. There's him not connecting with his son. There's him taking on the new fighter, and then getting that relationship all messed up. It's like you could have taken out 2 or 3 elements and focused on one. But then they also do the thing where it's like suddenly he's talking like original Rocky again. Suddenly he's wearing the clothes again, and his behavior and mannerisms have all like reverted back to the original Rocky. I guess they're trying to say it's because of the brain damage or something. I don't know. It was kind of a mess.
Yeah. We got Deke in the house. In the
Hey,
house.
we're talking about Rocky.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, towards the end of it, I hadn't seen this movie in a while, but man, I was laughing out loud so hard during that final fight. It
Mm-hmm.
just hit me, and it was so stupid.
Yeah.
Where they start street fighting, and he's got these like martial arts twists, and he's like grabbing his legs, and he's doing wrestling moves,
Yeah.
and it was so stupid. But at the same time, I had a really good laugh.
Mm-hmm.
It was worth it getting to that ending. I mean, I would take the end fight of Rocky 5 and say, in a way, that's kind of better than the entirety of Rocky 4 in just the humor and laugh that it gave me. So that movie's stupid. So I had high hopes for Rocky Balboa because Stallone kept saying he made it because Rocky 5 was so bad, and he realized all the mistakes these years later. But then I watched it, and I was thinking like it took you what 11, no 16 years to get this movie made, and essentially he did all the same things from Rocky 5. There are some moments where the direction is really nice, but essentially it's still just the same thing as Rocky 5, where you have all these different elements and it feels like there's a few too many things going on, and it basically just leads up to a fight, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yeah.
So the heart of the character, whatever his whole thing is that it basically he just needs to prove himself in the ring again to himself.
You're right.
But why?
I don't know.
What
He's Rocky.
happened? Why is this still the gimmick that's going on? And then all the constant drawbacks from the original movie or anything along the line where it's like, okay, he wakes up and he sees his turtles. I like that one because
Yeah.
he didn't say anything.
Yeah.
I was like, and it's a nice passage of time.
Mm-hmm.
He wakes up and you see the turtles, they're big now. I liked that one. I was, oh, that's great. And he's still living in the poor house, so obviously he didn't get, his money back from the lawsuit with the attorney, whatever. So I was like, okay, fine. That's great. That's normal. I like that he had a restaurant. I thought that was a nice
Yeah.
change of pace, other
Thought that
than
was cool.
him doing, working at the gym, Mickey's gym, and training people and stuff. Maybe because he had the bad blood with Tommy Gunn there, and he's like, okay, move to a different direction.
Yeah,
that felt great. The decision not to have Adrian in the movie, I guess that was something with Talia Shire, and they just felt like,
I don't know. Paulie's not in the movie either, right? Like the
Paulie's in
actor,
it.
is he?
Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
Or was that in Creed that he wasn't? Oh, I can't remember. There was one movie where he's sitting at Paulie's tombstone.
Spoilers.
Oh, sorry. I got them confused. It's been, look, I watched them like 3-4 years ago, and I watched them all in one sitting, from Rocky 1 to
in one day, really?
Well, in a weekend. I think Sarah and I watched them all in a weekend. And I had never seen any of them before. Well, it was actually Rocky 1 till Creed, the first Creed. I hadn't seen the second Creed came out later.
Okay. Well, essentially in Balboa, anything that was new felt, this is good. I like this. I like the restaurant. I like that he had moved on and progressed. But then it's the same thing. Like he doesn't get along with his son, and they don't talk to each other. And then there's just one scene, and then suddenly his son quits his job, and he's like, "I love you. I want to be with you because you yelled at me in the street." That didn't make sense. He meets somebody at a bar, turns out to be the girl from the first movie, and it's like, oh, okay. And Spider Rico, who he beat up in the first movie, is now like his buddy hanging out at the bar. It's like all the callbacks are just constant. And ultimately, it leads up to a fight, a very unrealistic fight, and they do all the things of why, okay, the champ didn't prepare for it, and Rocky trained hard, and the champ broke his hand during the fight. So they give you all these reasons why Rocky can stand toe to toe with a guy who's like 2/3 his age. It's like, I did like the ending when he's walking out of the stadium. It was shot very nice. I like he's not paying attention to what's going on in the ring, and he's just got a big smile on his face, and he's seeing all the fans. All that stuff was nice. He gets a dog for no reason. They make a big deal about going to the pound and getting a dog. Why? The dog doesn't have anything to do with anything other than that it's a callback to he had a dog in the first movie, which was a connection with him and Adrian. There's a big deal about him wanting to have the woman's son help him out at the restaurant.
Right.
It's like that. And he's like, okay, come work in the restaurant. And then nothing happens with them. They don't have any kind of connection, relationship. The kid doesn't have anything to add to the movie. He's just suddenly on his training team. Even at the end, when they bring back Tony Burton to be like, who is Apollo's trainer, and he's there, and he's like, we're going to get you ready for this fight. But I have nothing to teach you. You know what to do. And then it's just montage because it's montage time.
Well, you gotta have a montage in a Rocky movie.
Right, but it's like it didn't even like build to it or anything. It's just suddenly like, okay, now it's montage time.
Well, Sauce says he thinks they were parroting the Rocky Marciano versus Ali fight, which I guess is something that happened.
Well, they mentioned that in the movie that it
Okay.
was like they did some computer thing to say who would win between these two.
Right.
That's what they do with him and the current champ. The current champ who doesn't have a character other than I'm the champ, I can do it. I'm the champ, I can do it.
So apparently Deke's
Yeah.
friend T-Bone, going back to the first Rocky movie, my pal T-Bone drank a full glass of eggs like Rocky did in the first movie. The result was Rocky kept it together, whereas T-Bone yacked eggs everywhere.
T-Bone.
I've never attempted to drink a raw egg. I don't know about you.
No.
I mean, you're
I've
from
had raw
Jersey,
eggs, but
so you've had raw eggs.
in Japan it's kind of
Oh,
common to have a raw egg. You put it on your rice. I don't
okay.
really like
But
it, but I don't think I can drink a half dozen of them.
doesn't the warm rice kind of cook the egg though?
Nah, it's
No.
not gonna cook it.
Okay,
And you're only supposed to do that with very fresh eggs.
I
You
see.
can get sick
Yeah, I mean,
eating that.
salmonella.
Yeah.
Steven brings up the Spider-Man 3 movie for some reason. I don't know.
Oh, he's did too many things going on. That's
I
Spider-Man
guess
2.
so. Oh, maybe. And he
I gotta
says, I
watch
could
that again. It's been
just
a while since
imagine
I've seen
Richard
that.
spending this much time talking about Deep Blue Sea.
I like Deep Blue Sea.
Steven loves to steer the conversation to what he wants to talk about. He's obsessed
Steven
with
recently watched Deep
sharks.
Blue Sea.
He's obsessed with sharks and ocean movies, and now he wants to talk about that.
Deep Blue Sea is on my list of movies that it's not a great movie, but sure is entertaining. It's
is
up there
Deep,
with like Doom.
yeah.
It's on the same list.
Is Deep Blue Sea the one with Samuel L. Jackson and a
Yes, and the
Nintendo
Nintendo
64
64
shark
shark
comes
as you.
and eats him?
Yes.
All right.
That's about 2 seconds out of a feature length.
That's 2 seconds too much. 2 seconds.
Right.
It's what I remember.
That's a
That's
good
all
one.
I remember. I saw that and I was like, wow, that's pretty bad. I don't know. I would maybe if I watched it today, I would be more into it. But in 1999, when it came out, I was still very cynical. And if it wasn't something like The Godfather or Goodfellas, I wasn't interested in it.
When that moment happens, you see it coming a mile away when that's about to happen. I remember I saw it in the theater and I was like, I know he's gonna get eaten right now. It's one of
Oh
those things
yeah,
where the way they frame
yeah.
it and
Well, they
everything,
got the
what's happening.
opening like in the shot.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's
he's
just
doing his big dramatic speech and
I kind of hate that I notice those things. Like if somebody's sitting there and there's a door behind them and they're talking, it's like somebody's
yeah.
coming through that door, or the person they're talking about is gonna walk through. Like,
See, the thing is that the creative director, the creative filmmaker, has to do that, but not make you think about that.
yeah,
So you don't anticipate it.
yes,
Or they make you anticipate it in a good way. It's like, oh, I can't wait for somebody to come through that door.
yeah. I'm watching a television show right now called Succession, and it stars Brian Cox and a bunch of actors. I don't know the name of any of the actors, but I'm enjoying it. It is riveting. It's about a guy. Brian Cox is like a big mogul. He's a media mogul, kind of like that guy that owns Fox News. What the heck's his name?
Murdoch?
Murdoch, yeah, Rupert Murdoch kind of deal. And he is like he's in his 80s. He's it's time for him to retire, kind of thing. And all of his children, he's got 4 kids, and all of them are vying for the CEO job, kind of thing. And he had a stroke recently, so you're not 100% sure if he's thinking clearly and his decisions and whatnot. And he kind of pits all of his kids together, and it's the kind of show that if it wasn't written very well, I would hate it, because a lot of it is like, well, if these two people just talk to each other, they could figure it out or whatever. But the characters are so conniving and so self-involved in their own interests that it makes sense that they wouldn't talk to each other. It makes sense that they're, constantly holding things back or whatever, not telling people things, because they are terrible people. They're all awful. But I'm sucked in. Sarah and I think we started watching it 2 weeks ago, and we're already on season 3. There's only 4 seasons of the show. There's only 39 episodes of the show in total. But yeah, I'm enjoying that. On the flip side, I watched the 3rd season of Ted Lasso, which is a completely different kind of show. It's the kind of show that characters do talk to each other when they have a problem. They treat each other like adults. It is very refreshing television. It is like you almost wish every show would put more of Ted Lasso in it than Succession. But it finished. There was only 3 seasons of it. They kind of stealth finished it. I didn't know that it was done at the end of season 3. They said from the beginning that they only had 3 seasons of the show. But they still haven't officially ended it. They kind of wanted to leave it open. They didn't want like a big buildup like Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul had to an ending. So they just kind of stealth ended it. But yeah, Ted Lasso is a good show. It's about a guy he's like an American football coach, and this woman in England gets control of her ex-husband's soccer team, and the ex-husband loves the soccer team, right? It's like his favorite team, his favorite thing. So she wants to run it into the ground. She wants them to lose their premier status or whatever it is that they have in soccer. So she hires Ted Lasso, who's an American football coach, to coach the soccer team, which is football in the rest of the world kind of thing. And at first, it's she starts off like really wanting to see this team fail, and then they have it out like adults, and I don't want to spoil too much from there, but
okay, I never heard of this.
I think you would really enjoy it. I think you'd like it a lot.
So there's no actual lasso in the show?
No Lasso. It's just the guy's last name. His name is Ted Lasso.
Gotcha.
Steven says the Deep Blue Sea and Jaws sequels are all on Tubi right now. But
rub it in. I can't get Tubi anymore.
You don't have the tube.
No, it used to be. But then somebody wised up. They realized I was watching for free. And was like, oh,
yeah.
Gotta cut this service.
All right. What else do you got for us? I got a bunch of movies here. So.
Oh, I'll just say one more thing about the Rocky movies. I was disappointed that the magic necklace didn't show up in Rocky Balboa, because they made such a big deal about that in Rocky 5.
Right.
I thought, I was like, where's the necklace? And I remember, he gives it to his son at the end. So his son is the business person. After his son makes amends, he's going to be wearing it. That would be great, but he doesn't. I think they call back so many other things. They didn't bring.
I think he was trying to distance himself from Rocky 5.
I understand. Yeah, probably. But apparently, I looked it up, and I have to go back and watch some movies now, because apparently that necklace was in the earlier Rocky movies. Like in parts 3 and 4, it is there. I always thought it just magically appeared in 5, because he suddenly got it around his neck at the beginning, and they have the whole flashback scene where Mickey gives it to him. I was like, this necklace never existed before, but apparently it is. But it was never focused on. Which is one of those things, like if you're involved in the movie, you don't notice that one little detail because it wasn't in your face. Which, sidetrack here, all you Star Wars people out there, were there dice hanging from the Millennium Falcon?
No, that was in Spaceballs, wasn't it?
Was it? Yeah. This has always bothered me. Now, I don't know, because I've only watched those sequels movies once, the Last Jedi in them, and I know at the end of the Last Jedi, Luke Skywalker comes up to Princess Leia, and he gives her like a set of dice or something, like a keychain. that apparently was like hanging in the Millennium Falcon or something.
Like a pair of fuzzy dice was hanging in the Millennium
Right,
Falcon.
but I think like metal, like small metal dice or something on a chain. And I remember that scene. I was like, "What is he giving her? What is that?" And then I had to read it. It was something like it was hanging from the Millennium Falcon, but it never seemed like a major detail that anyone would notice.
That sounds like
I'm
something like a parody would do on SNL or something
I
like
don't know.
that.
Like
I don't know.
I have no idea because I've never noticed little dice hanging in the Millennium Falcon. It didn't seem
No.
like this was Han Solo's, treasured
Why would
trademark or something.
why would Luke have Han Solo's? Why wouldn't Han
I
Solo
don't
have Han
know. It's like
Solo's
it's
dice?
I don't know. Maybe I'm misremembering stuff, but there's something about Han Solo Millennium Falcon dice or
I think
something.
I,
It
I
just
think they were
seemed like
having a
such an
fever dream.
obscure thing that the average viewer, even somebody who's seen the original Star Wars many, many, many times. I don't know. I never noticed it.
Well,
Where's
I've
Duke? Where's Duke and Chris? They would know this stuff.
apparently Fitnat would know, according to the sauce.
Fitnet too.
Yeah. Okay.
They can.
I got a movie here I want to talk about.
Okay.
What's going on?
Is this coming through? There's a cat outside my window.
Is it your
It's
cat?
meowing. It is not my cat, but my wife's mother's cat.
Oh. What's its name?
This is Kedu.
Kedu. Oh.
Kedu. There are 3 cats that were born in the same letter, and
Mhm.
their names are Kedu, Bedo, and Su.
Hmm.
And if you run that together, it's Kedu Bedo Su, which is the Japanese name for Cerberus.
Cerberus. What's Cerberus?
Cerberus is the 3-headed dog
Oh.
that is down in Hades.
Oh, right. Okay.
So
There you go.
at one point when they were little and we didn't have names for them yet, my daughter picked them up and there were like 3 heads right there. So Cerberus.
Ah, very cool.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm curious if you know, I think you know of this movie. Maybe you don't, because it was kind of a half Canadian Disney film, and it's one of the last animated 2D animated films
Half Canadian Disney film.
before they went to. Okay, so like this was like an animated film before they went to like doing the like Little Mermaid kind of movies, like Beauty and the Beast.
Right.
Like you
There
remember
was
in
the
the
switch
80s.
over.
Yeah, like in the 80s they were still doing 2D animated movies, but they weren't like such a big huge affair, right?
They were they were making them. They weren't every year like they started doing, and
Right.
the animation was a little rougher. Still quality animation, but it didn't have that
Yeah, the polish.
computery polish to them.
Yeah. So this this is me buying a Disney film, a Disney animated film.
Like I'm more curious as to why you're watching Disney animated
Well,
movies.
I used to watch this. Used to be on TV all the time, quite a bit. Let me tell you who's some of the voice casts in here.
Okay.
We have from Saturday Night Live. We have Phil Hartman.
Phil Hartman.
We
In a
have
Disney movie.
John Lovitz. Let me see if I can see any other. I actually don't remember they were in this movie.
I know they were in the Three Amigos.
They were in the Three Amigos. So this movie came out in, was it 1988? 1988. And it won the Parents' Choice Television Award. I think it might have been made for TV, actually.
Okay.
It
I'm
was
trying
on,
to think of their feature film.
I don't know if this actually had a theatrical release. Does anyone in the chat has it? There's only 2 people. Ray and the Falcon is not. Ray had the Falcon. Oh, I thought that was the name of the movie. No, that was in the Star Wars thing. I don't know any of the other voice actors.
Can you give me a few more hints? What sort of animals are they?
There are no animals
in
this movie. Yeah. Well, maybe there are kind of animals, but they're not the main focus.
Okay, is there a big musical number at any point?
There might be. I haven't watched it in forever. Actually, I haven't watched this yet. I just saw it and I bought it. I'll say that it's talking. It's inanimate objects talking.
Oh, is this one of those like Brave Little Toaster
You got
kind
it.
of movies?
Yeah, you got
All
it.
right.
A
I've
brave
never
little
seen that.
toaster.
I think that was a theatrical release.
Was it? I don't know. I caught it as a kid on
I remember
TV.
seeing commercials for it or trailers or something. I've
Well,
never seen it.
for me, it was a treat because it was an actual Disney film that was played in full on television, which you didn't normally get. You would get that stupid World of Disney on Sunday night, and they would just play clips of whatever movies they wanted you to buy on VHS. So I found that for $4 on DVD, and I said, "What the heck? Let's get me the Brave Little Toaster." So
Is it in widescreen?
darn well better be.
I hate when I buy a DVD and it's 4:3.
Well, and this movie kind of scared me too because it says on here, the Terror from Beyond Space says it's standard on the back, but that's fine because it's not focusing. But it says on here that it is the theatrical release format. So like a movie like
that's
this,
just how it was made, yeah.
right? Would have been in 4:3. But when I put the disc in, it came with that warning that this movie has been altered to fit your TV screen. And I'm like, what's going on here? But I'm choosing to believe the cover here that it was because it looked like a 4:3 movie. I doubt that this was cheap schlock made in the 50s. There's no way it had a widescreen release.
Right.
Let's see. Steven says the DVD for that movie was in that box of movies I found a couple days ago. Oh, well, there you go. Very good.
Yeah, I was very surprised. Steven found a big box of movies just
that's always fun.
Wherever he found it.
Just find them lying around.
Side tangent. I don't want to get into the whole Twitter thing because I don't know what Twitter is anymore. All I've noticed is that ever since X, Twitter X, whatever it is, has been changing around. When I try to respond to things, I'd say 60 to 70% of the time my tweets don't go through. And I try as because I responded to that box of movies that Steven got. I had some clever GIFs and everything. I worked hard on it. And I was like, send. Nothing. Send. Do it again. Nothing. Same thing happened the other day when Derek was fighting wasps. He had a bunch of wasps in his attic or something. And I was like sending some super funny tweets there and didn't go through.
Steven's having the same problem.
I don't know. Maybe because I didn't get a little blue check mark or something. Now they want you to submit photos with government issued ID.
Oh, really?
To verify that you are who you are.
And we can only have so many personal messages throughout the day too. So
really?
If you get into an old school PM war with somebody, it's if you don't have a blue check mark at some point, you're going to get cut off.
Oh my goodness!
Thank goodness I don't do that anymore. Steven wants to know what your gift was.
I don't remember what the birthday one was. It's been too long.
Just think of the most amazing gift you've ever received, Steven, and it was that times 10.
It might have been a Gene Wilder gift.
Oh, that's perfect. You can never go wrong with Gene. Okay.
I'm sorry. Go back to your movies.
This next DVD that I bought, haven't watched yet, but I bought them. This is a collection of 3 movies that I know you have watched 2 of them recently, very recently.
Okay.
And people have been picking this up on VHS like crazy. I think everyone of our friends who collect VHS has at least the first one in their collection. Or maybe I'm thinking of the wrong series. I don't know. Come to think of it, I might be thinking of the wrong series. But anyways, can you let's see, 80s action. That's your
80s
clue.
action. Chuck Norris, Van
Yep.
Damme.
Yep. No, you're right the first time.
Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What's the
Um.
series?
Oh gosh, 3
There's 3 of them. I
missing in
did.
action.
That's right. I didn't even know there was a third
Hey.
3. There you go. All
All
3
right.
missing in action films on one DVD. That's all you, because that's all you
Ah,
need. All 3
high
of them on one.
quality. Are those in widescreen?
That's a good question. I'm assuming so.
Because
But
I bought a Chuck Norris triple pack DVD a little while ago, and one of them, it's on 2 discs. One of them is widescreen. 2 of them are 4:3.
oh no. You know what? It doesn't say anywhere on here if they are widescreen
You're
or not.
getting some TV
Oh
cuts.
no. I can't do it. I can't
Those
do it.
movies have been specially formatted for your TV.
No. Let's see. Let me see if it's
Oh,
under the sticker. Does it say? No, it doesn't. But I didn't know this either. Not only did I not know that there was 3 movies, but there's Missing in Action. Then you got Missing in Action to the Beginning,
okay.
which tells you that it's probably a prequel, right? That's how ahead of the time the Missing in Action series was.
Mm.
But then by the 3rd movie, they started sliding that Missing in Action title off to the side. It was now a subtitle because the 3rd movie is Braddock Missing in Action 3. Going for that
Now,
Rambo.
yeah, I was gonna say,
Rambo
what
stuff.
year did that movie come out?
1988. So they were definitely like, well, Rambo is a thing. Let's make Braddock a thing. Braddock Missing in Action 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm stoked. I
Yeah.
can't wait to get to
You know,
those.
I'm pretty sure I've seen Missing in Action, but I couldn't tell you a thing about it right now. I've seen a bunch of his movies like within the past 6 months or so, but they're all
What's
running together.
What's the one where he's got the 2 guns? That's the one I'm thinking of. I don't think it's Missing in Action.
Oh, that's Invasion USA. That one's
Yeah,
pretty
okay,
good.
that's the one I was thinking.
Invasion USA is pretty fun, and the Delta Force is a legitimately pretty good movie if you don't watch the Chuck Norris parts. Like it's so like we had this movie and then we had Chuck Norris, and it feels like they just slapped him into like extra scenes. But there's like a hijacking on an airplane. It's really tense. It's very entertaining.
Okay, Steven here with the good zings. My memory is
Oh,
Missing in Action. Kevin's memory is Missing in
yes.
Action.
There you go.
And he's going to tweet out the movie box for you. Look at that.
Yeah,
So you
let
can
me
see
see
everything.
everything that's in that box. I'm so happy for people when they find a box of free things that they enjoy. You know?
Yeah.
If you find a box of games or movies or whatever, good on you.
So for $5 on the Blu-ray, I got myself the Hardcore Henry. I'm not sure how good this movie is, but for
I've
$5,
heard of that. That's the first person
yeah,
shooter the whole time.
yeah. So the whole movie is, as far as I know, it's all done in first person. So I'll give that a watch. And Ghost Town, you ever see this movie with Ricky Gervais?
No, don't know it.
It's pretty good. Pretty good. So $5. What the heck?
Hey, I got a question for you.
Yep.
When you buy movies, you got that little $4.99 sticker on your movies there.
Yeah.
Do you always peel those off, or you leave them?
Well, it's still on the plastic.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So
well,
it'll come off.
Let's say it was a used disc, and it's on the
Generally,
actual slipcase.
Generally I do keep them on there just because it reminds me of how much I paid for it. You know, I have a movie like that coming up very soon. I found these for my buddy Frank. He's into the horror, so I got him Day of the Dead Bloodline. And then the Drag Me to Hell, the Sam Raimi film.
That's a Sam Raimi joint.
So this is unrated, so it's got the two versions, a rated and unrated. And there was 2 versions of it there. This one has all the English, and the other one it was a Canadian version, had the English and the French. So I got him a special collector's American edition. It just has the
Ooh,
English on there.
fancy import.
So I better get bonus points for that. Picked up the Lego Movie, which is a pretty good movie. Watch it with your
I've
kids.
not seen it.
It's pretty good. $4.
My daughter watched a Batman Lego movie,
Yeah.
and it was like one of the most annoying things.
I haven't seen that one. This
Boy.
one was pretty good. Like it's kind of like it gave me the Muppet movie vibes kind of thing.
Oh,
Kind of felt like that.
speaking of which, I got the Muppets coming in the mail. There was a Blu-ray set of like 6 Muppet movies.
Okay.
It was on Amazon. It was like dropping in price. I was like, ooh, I was watching it for a while. It was like going down like $1 every day. So eventually I jumped on it. So I will be getting the Muppet movie, The Great Muppet Caper, which I haven't seen in a very long time. For some reason, not The Muppets Take Manhattan. It's not in the set. Then it has like well, there were 3 Muppet movies with Jim Henson.
Yep.
And he died in 1990. Then they had like a Muppet Christmas Carol.
Yep.
Treasure Island, stuff like that.
Yes.
So those 2 are on there.
Gonzo in Space?
No, it doesn't have the Space Gonzo. And then it has like the more recent Muppets where like the originals are great. Then the ones without Jim Henson, you still have Frank Oz and like the original crew.
Yep.
So they were still doing stuff. I've heard that Frank Oz is not a fan of the new Muppet movies.
Really?
That he's not involved in. Ever since Disney bought them, and I guess I don't know. I haven't seen them. I'm not terribly excited to watch them, but
I thought they were
on there.
I don't think I've seen the second one, but I watched the first one that they did. I thought it was okay. It's not one that I would go back to and rewatch, but it was fine for what it was.
I don't know. I mostly bought it because I have a DVD of the Muppet movie and it's scratched, so it doesn't play anymore. So I needed an upgrade for my original Muppet movie, and I remember loving The Great Muppet Caper.
Yeah.
Though I've not seen it in 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years. So.
By the way, I can half blame you for picking this up because
no blame for me.
I picked up the Lego movie, and you're half responsible because there is in my Value Village they segregate the children's movies from the adult movies, and normally I ignore all the children's movies because I don't really care. But now you got me looking for Follow That Bird. And so that's where I saw this.
Well, okay.
So you are partially responsible for that.
Follow That Bird is light years beyond the Lego movie, I guarantee you.
I picked up
I can't stand those Lego animated things. I've seen bits and pieces and they all seem super annoying.
Well, this was an enjoyable film. I remember.
I'll take your word for it.
Eddie the Eagle. I haven't watched it, but I hear good things. So it was $2. So what the heck?
What is that?
It's about some guy who skis. I don't know. Sarah saw it and she's like, "Oh, I really like that movie." So for $2, what the heck?
Come on, watch Rocky 5.
I got some controversial things coming up.
Oh, nudie stuff.
No, not quite. Got myself a Roger Rabbit on the.
Hey,
DVD.
That's the one I have.
Yeah. I have it on DVD in a nice set.
I know you were very proud. You showed me your with the canisters, the film cans, and everything.
Yeah, but now I got it on Blu-ray, so that's what I would actually watch. Found myself a sealed copy, of Enter the Dragon.
I was just thinking of buying that. Oh, $3.99?
Yeah, originally $8.
Good price. Oh my goodness, your pricing is so much better. I know I've said that before, but. That's $3.99 Canadian dollars, which I looked it up. Canadian dollars are not that much different than Japanese yen.
Oh,
I think we're paying pretty similar.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
Here is my controversial pickup. I got myself the Eddie Murphy Delirious on DVD, which I'm
Why is
sure.
that controversial?
Well, I mean, some of the
The
material on
language
here,
of the time. Yes.
not just the language, but
It was a different time. Different things were accepted.
yeah, but
It
there
had.
is to me there is like Archie Bunker kind of thing, like
Mm-hmm.
let's make fun of the racist kind of thing, which I think is perfectly fine and has aged well, and the people who are upset about that stuff are really not looking at what the intent was. And then there's something like Eddie Murphy Delirious, which parts of this are just flat out. It's just it's hateful. It's really hateful, and it does make me cringe. But it does have its merits, man. Like the cookout stuff is still great, and a lot of it is still awesome. So great. It is still a great stand-up routine, but like you know, like basically he says he hates gay people because they're gay. Like there's no that's it's kind of nasty. It's kind of nasty, a little bit, a little bit. Okay, so I watched so in the '60s there was Dalek Mania happening in Britain. You know
Oh,
the
there was
Dalek,
what mania?
Dalek. You know the Dalek, like I got right there. Dalek,
What's a Dalek?
Dalek from Doctor Who.
I've
Exterminate.
never seen Doctor Who.
Oh wow. Anyways, they made two Doctor Who movies in the '60s. So there you go. I watched those, and they were okay. A little different from the TV show. They could only get the rights to half of the stuff from the TV show, so they changed a lot of it up. They were basically just theatrical versions of the original BBC series. A couple of them, and they planned on making one every year, but the second one kind of tanked, which was this one, which was actually ironically the better of the two. But yeah, so then they stopped making more of them. But it's Peter Cushing from the Star Wars
Oh yeah, the Star Wars guy.
as Doctor Who. So, and he kind of just does everyone who plays Doctor Who kind of does their own thing with it, but he was really the first actor to different actor to play. Like it was still the original guy that was playing it when he did the movie, so he's kind of just doing an impression of the first Doctor Who. He didn't really do his own take on it. But have you ever watched the movie Big Fish?
I have once in the theater. I've been tempted. Actually, one of my local shops has a copy of that.
Well, you know me,
I'm
a sucker for like any sort of special edition and that. And when I see the DVD special editions with books and stuff in them and extra bits, I have to pick them up. I gotta say I didn't enjoy the movie as much as Sarah did.
It's one of those Burton films that's past his peak, but trying new things, but also with the Burton-y style.
It was trying to have something to say, in a very abstract way, and it just, I don't know, kind of fell flat for me. And Steven has that version of Big Fish as well.
I did like the how his stories are so exaggerated, but then later in the movie you see the people they're based on, and you can see, oh, okay, I could see how he stretched that character to be that, and that character to be that.
Okay, like that. Getting back to Delirious for a second here, because it's rocket sauce brings up the McDonald's part. Now here's a conversation I had with a couple of friends, because I remember the McDonald's part being in Eddie Murphy Raw, not in Delirious, because I remember Delirious was ice cream, about the ice cream, and then he kind of did the same thing in Raw with McDonald's. It was almost like the same kind of bit. I think the McDonald's one was in Raw, but half my friends agreed with me and the other half did not agree with me. So I'd have to watch it again, even though I've watched it a bajillion times. I'm pretty sure the McDonald's bit is in Raw, Eddie Murphy Raw. There you go. Have you ever seen the movie Hit and Run?
Never heard of it.
with Kirsten Bell and Dax Shepard, and Tom Arnold is in there as well.
Wait a minute. For Kirsten Bell? Kristen Bell? What's her name?
Kristen Bell.
Kristen Bell
Kristen Bell.
and Dax Shepard are married in real life. That's the
That's
only
right.
thing I know.
That is correct. They are married. Tom Arnold is not married to either of them.
He was married to Roseanne.
But he was married to Roseanne.
And he and Roseanne were in Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare.
I have not seen that one. So you have one up on me. Let's see. Sauce says, my mom said something to me as a kid that she should make me a burger better than McDonald's. She also put egg in her burger patty. Well, Eddie Murphy's thing was green pepper. There was green pepper in the, but I'm pretty sure that was raw. I'm pretty sure. I'll have to watch it again. Anyways, this was a pretty good movie. Not a great film, not a good cinema, but it was a fun movie. A lot of fast cars and some, speeding action and stuff like that. Tom Arnold was okay in it. He wasn't like, overly, like, sometimes I can take Tom Arnold and sometimes I can't, but he was okay in this movie. So I recommend that one. Watch the movie called Dark Water, the drama with Mark Ruffalo and Tim Robbins, and yeah, boy, Bill Pullman.
Oh, Bill Pullman.
Yes, your
my favorite flat note.
He acted his ass off in this movie, though. He was really good. He was pulling off accents and everything. It was quite enjoyable. I gotta say though, Anne Hathaway, I don't think I really cared for her too much. She's kind of flat.
She was big for a while.
She was, but I don't know. There's just something like if she wasn't in the movie, you wouldn't have noticed. But this is a movie about corruption. What's the name of the company? Oh God. Let's see if they put it on the back here, so I don't have to use my memory. It's a big chemical company in the States, and of course, there's still a big chemical company in the States. I guess they didn't put their name on the back because they were too afraid. The movie studio was too afraid. They just say one of the world's largest corporation. Anyways, it turned out that this corporation was putting hazardous toxins in the drinking water in a poor community, of course. And so this guy he's actually a DuPont. That is the name of the company, the DuPont company. And he's actually a lawyer for DuPont. And he's from a small town. One of the farmers in the community kind of knows him, hits him up to like Acme. No, it wasn't Acme. Good try though. No, it was DuPont. Hits him up to try to help him fight this huge corporation. And he's like, look, I'm a lawyer for the company. Like, what do you want me to do? Like for the exact company that you have a problem with. So he does some digging and he finds out that indeed the DuPont was responsible for knowingly putting these toxins in the water supply, which is outright murder, and goes after them. Gave people all sorts of problems with cancer and whatnot. It's not an uplifting film, but it was a very good drama film. And it goes to show you, this movie came out like 2018, and basically exposed DuPont for all of this crime and corruption and all that. And they're still around. The politicians that they paid off, they're still around. Goes to show you, much as you can blow a whistle, the people have power. Nothing happens. They keep going on. Watched the movie called Blow. After this stars Johnny Depp, and Penelope Cruz is only in it for 2 minutes, but it also stars your boy, who just recently passed away. Kind of surprised we made it this far without talking about the passing of your boy, Paul Rubens.
Oh, that's right. Pee-wee.
Yeah.
He's in there?
Yeah, so that's why I watched it, because I remember when this movie came out, there was talk that like this was like Paul Rubens' comeback, right? And he is in the movie, and he is pretty good in the movie. But the movie itself, put an S on the end of that. The movie itself blows. It blows.
You're very clever. You're probably the first person to come up with that too.
Yeah, I know. Penelope Cruz is only in it for like 5 minutes. I don't know why she's on the cover. Johnny Depp sucks in the movie. I don't like Johnny Depp. I've come to the conclusion that he's. But this was just kind of like a really cheap ripoff of Goodfellas. So I'll be giving that one away. So if anyone wants a copy of Blow on Blu-ray, hit me up before I send it off to the old Care and Share or whatever. No, I'm not going to throw it out. I give them away to the. There's a Pet Save place. It's called the Pet Save Retail Store, and they basically resell junk and raise money to save puppies and kittens. So that's where I donate the stuff. Not even as Captain Jack Sparrow. I mean, he was just doing a Keith Richards impression. So, Deke says, no thanks, Kevs. I don't do Blow. He does not do Blow. Oh, there you go. Just got 2 more movies, and I'm done.
Okay.
I think I talked about this for second License to Wed. Did I mention that? Because it was on the HD DVD.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that one.
Yeah. It is terrible. It is really bad. All, respect to Robin Williams and the people that love him, but this was probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen. So he plays a priest, and John Krasinski and Mandy Moore want to get married. And they want to get married. She wants to get married in this church, and he's the priest at the church. And he's like, well, if you want to get married at this church, you have to go through my test. I don't know. Basically, it was like a class where Sarah and I had to do this when we got married. You go and you go through like sessions, basically. And they basically want to be reassured that you are actually compatible with each other. So, I mean, like when we did it in reality, it was just kind of informal talking about, relationships and being together and, how you have to work together and blah, 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 all the same stuff. This was like, he was like invasive. He was putting through the test. He was like, getting a girl to hit on John Krasinski to test him to see if he would cheat and, just all this really gross stuff. And, especially
cinematic.
It just did not play very well. It just was not very good. So
it doesn't look like the kind of movie that would be very good. That was a paycheck for Robin Williams.
I'm sure it was. It was. A lot of people from the American Office, though, are kind of in it.
Maybe one of the writers was responsible for
Could have been. I don't know. But it wasn't. What's this? How about Nancy's boyfriend who gets sucked into the bed in the first nightmare? Oh, you guys are still talking about. You had to mention Freddy, right? No, that's all they're talking about.
No, that was Johnny Depp.
Oh, I forgot he was in that movie. Okay.
Well, you make everybody happy. Did you enjoy Ed Wood?
I did, but for me, like that movie. I know Johnny Depp is in it, but it was really what's his name with the eyebrows? Martin Landau.
Oh, Martin Landau.
Yeah, he really made that movie for me. Anyways, it's kind of like the Rob Reiner movie with Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson. Like I don't care for Tom Cruise either, but that movie's pretty good because of Jack Nicholson. You're just waiting for that.
Oh, is that the?
You Can't Handle the Truth.
Yeah, that movie.
Yeah. Okay, I saved the best for last. I saved the sticker on here because I only paid $4 because I'm really happy and proud that I only paid $4 for this amazing film on DVD. Just to see the Richard's face light up when he sees that I bought The Man with the Screaming Brain, starring Bruce Campbell.
I've never heard of this.
Yes. So this movie came out in 2006. Directly went straight to the Sci-Fi Channel.
Okay.
And it not only stars Bruce Campbell, it really should be Bruce Campbell's with apostrophe S, because he also wrote the film and directed it.
Oh.
And the movie cost a whopping $3 million, and they shot it in Bulgaria.
Ooh.
Now, I would give this film. Oh, it also stars Ted Raimi and a bunch of other people. A bunch of other people you never heard of. Now, and Stacy Keach. That was the other guy, Stacy Keach. You remember Stacy Keach? Hammer. Was it his Hammer? Mike Hammer? Mickey Spillane? I don't care. Anyways. I would give this movie 5 stars. 5 stars.
All right.
But I had to knock off 1 star because the image on the back, I was expecting to see this image in the film somewhere.
Oh, okay.
For the people listening, this is Bruce Campbell holding his head, his empty head.
Well,
although
the top of his head has been cut off, and he's placing his hands inside the rim of his skull.
Right. But unfortunately, and it kind of looks like some dude, and then they kind of superimposed Bruce Campbell's.
Well, yeah, that's a lot of Photoshop there.
On there. Also, I watched this with a bunch of friends, and they were commenting on how Bruce Campbell looked a lot like Basil Fawlty in this film, which I kind of agree with. He does look a bit like Basil.
Basil Fawlty, is it your Fawlty Towers?
Yeah, that's right. Thing? Yeah. Anyways, Ted Raimi is in there too. As you can see, he's right there. Right there.
Okay.
Yeah, no, maybe I would give it I think I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was a fun movie. It was really corny, really cheesy, but it's not a great movie by any stretch. But basically, he's doing the physical comedy from the Evil Dead, specifically Evil Dead 2, doing like a lot of the physical gags and that. And I had fun. I think I kind of made the mistake of having us watch it on bad movie night, because a lot of the people took it as a bad movie, and I'm like, it's schlock though. Like it's not supposed to be, like they're having fun with this concept. Basically, Bruce Campbell, I guess, his character gets killed, and they take his brain and they put somebody else's brain, or half of somebody else's brain. That's what it is. Somebody dies, they take half of Bruce Campbell's brain out, and they put half of somebody else's brain inside of Bruce Campbell's head. So he's walking around with like a big scar on his head that made him look more like a Klingon than a guy who had a lobotomy. But yeah, he's walking around with this thing on his head, and the 2 halves of the brain are constantly competing with each other. So he gets to do a lot of that, Three Stooges style of slapstick stuff, where hitting himself on the head.
That's impressive for what you said, 2006.
Yeah, he was.
He was a little older then.
He was pushing 50. He might have been my age. Might have been my age when he made this. But I had a lot of fun. Then there's a robot that shows up. His girlfriend, she loses her brain as well, and it gets put inside of a robot. And it's a really cheesy robot that
intentionally cheesy.
Yes, it's intentionally bad, but because they're having fun with the idea. Like, it's a concept they want to make a cheap movie, and they're just having fun with it. And Ted Raimi, I thought was really funny in it too. But you can't please everybody, I guess. They were taking. I felt like some people were taking it way too seriously. But in all honesty, I think I gave it 3 stars because I thought that they did a fine job. It's kind of like the Blair Witch Project or something like that. They set themselves out a goal to do like a really silly, goofy movie with $3 million, and I think for what they had and what like, for instance, like Stacy Keach is a scientist, and he's of course going to write as all scientists do, they write these huge equations on a blackboard, but they didn't have the money or budget for an actual blackboard, I guess. So he has like these big equations written on plywood behind him that's just spray painted black, kind of thing. You know, those kind of things. It's like, okay, that's very inventive. You know, you get points for me for thinking outside of the box.
And you said you paid $3.99 for this movie?
I paid $4. It was
$4.
$4.
The exact copy you have, I'm looking here on the Japanese Amazon,
Oh, I
would
wouldn't
cost me 21,836 yen.
Yeah,
which is
so
over $200.
So this is basically this is out of print, right? And so what happens on Amazon is when somebody who's selling something on Amazon for like $10 runs out of copies, or maybe they only have one copy left, they don't, in case they get restocked, if they just let it like, okay, we ran out of copies, let's take our listing down. If they take their listing down, somebody else becomes the top listing. Somebody else takes their spot, right? So in order to preserve that listing so they don't lose their spot, and if they're out of copies or they only have one copy left, what they do is they put an outrageous price on there just in case they get restocked. They don't want to lose that spot. That's what happens on Amazon.
Make sense.
But that
would make sense.
That's why you see really crazy prices for things that are out of print. Okay. A lot of people look at that and they say, oh, this is going for $300 on Amazon. It is not going for $300. If you want to know the real price of something, go to eBay, look for it, and look at the sold listings. Because anybody can ask. I can ask $300 for this DVD. Doesn't mean that it's worth $300, but I paid $4 for that DVD. So that shows the market that somebody's actually willing to pay $4 for this DVD. So that is how much it is worth. If you go to eBay, look at the sold listings and look at what it's actually being sold for, that is telling you what people are willing to pay for an item. So there's your lesson.
I totally believe it. No, I totally believe it. It's just that where I am, access to this stuff is much more limited.
Yeah.
So a lot of times those last person sellers on Amazon, that's what I see.
Of course, Chris Roberts tunes in for that. No, I had to have this conversation with my friends who were looking it up as well. And I was like explaining to them that no, the DVD is not worth it's worth $4.
I certainly know it's not worth it. It's just that's what it's being sold for.
Well, that's what somebody is asking for it. If somebody buys it for that much, well, then we can have a conversation. But Amazon doesn't tell you how much things are sold for. They only tell you what people are asking for them.
Well, that's what people are asking in my neighborhood, because quite often there's only one or two copies of these things.
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff just doesn't filter over here.
Right. Okay. That is it. That's everything.
That's all your movies?
That's I mean, that's a lot for a month. I would
you did have a lot there. I wrote a few things down. I didn't bring all the discs here, so I'll just go through these quickly. I finally watched The Omen. 1970 whatever. That was pretty good. I like that one.
I like that one.
I watched All the President's Men for the first time. I'd never seen that before with Dustin Hoffman and
Robert Redford.
That was really good. I enjoyed that. I watched The Shape of Water, the Guillermo del Toro movie from a few years back.
Yeah. What'd you think of that?
Didn't like it?
No.
Oh, it was really good. I enjoyed it.
Wow.
As a fairy tale movie.
I thought it was just style, no substance. Where was the story? Who cares?
I got the substance in there. The lady was in love with a fish.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
I watched Flash Gordon from 1980.
Okay.
I kind of fell asleep through part of it, but some parts were fun and some parts were, let's pick up the pace.
I've never seen it.
It's got that Queen song.
Yeah, I've listened to the
Yeah.
Queen soundtrack many times. I've never seen the actual movie.
That was good. And then I rewatched Falling Down,
Oh yeah,
the Michael
Douglas.
Douglas movie.
Yeah.
Which I had seen before, but I think I missed the first like 5 minutes of the movie of him getting out of the car.
Mm-hmm.
So I never quite understood what was going on when I
Oh,
watched it the first time because I didn't know, the very little beginning, which I enjoyed again. But I do have one nitpick about that movie. And I know you like this movie, so see if you picked up on this.
it's been a
There's a
while.
scene where he goes to a fast food restaurant.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. So he's already like picked up a bag of guns from like some street thugs.
Yep.
And he goes to a fast food restaurant and he wants to order breakfast.
Yes.
But they say you can get something from our lunch menu.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I don't want lunch, I want breakfast. And they're having the conversation, goes on for like a minute or so. And then he finally looks at his watch and they tell him, well, we stopped serving breakfast at 11:30. He looks at his watch, it's 11:33. Now, I do know I don't eat a lot of fast food. I don't go to a lot of fast food restaurants. I certainly don't eat breakfast at fast food restaurants. So I'm not entirely sure how the system works. But I know they would change out the signage, right? Now it's all digital, but they would like get up there and physically swap out all of the posters and stuff to show the menus,
Maybe.
right?
Yeah. Okay.
My point is, it's 11:33, but he
Mhm.
started asking about this at like 11:31, 11:32. The point is that he just missed it.
Yeah.
But he gets angry and he starts looking around at everybody. Everybody in the restaurant is eating a hamburger. Everybody in the restaurant is eating lunch. And he specifically says to the people, calm down, enjoy your lunch. Point is, he went in looking for breakfast.
Yeah.
And all of the people seated who have already ordered and have their food, none of them are eating breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
So did they all get served lunch within like that 1 minute period that
Yeah.
he came in? Or can you start to order lunch items while they're still serving breakfast?
I think
Because
okay.
No, go ahead.
I think that is the case. I think you
Okay,
can
so
get
I'm assuming.
a Big Mac. I think. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever been to McDonald's for. Well, I did. I've had an egg McMuffin like twice, maybe 3 times, maybe 4. I don't know, a few
Okay,
times.
because
I don't know. I'm not an expert.
the whole thing is that he's looking for breakfast and he's
Yeah.
angry about that.
Yeah.
But he says, enjoy your lunch, enjoy
Yeah.
your lunch. It would have been more effective story-wise
If they were
if
eating
everyone
breakfast.
else was eating breakfast and
Yeah.
he's seeing the thing he can't have.
Right.
But instead, everybody's eating burgers
Yeah.
and fries.
Yeah.
So
No,
I
never
thought
thought
from
of that.
a filmmaking perspective, it would have been a deeper cut for
Yeah.
him, like a little more salt in the wound if everyone else had their pancakes and breakfast
Yeah.
items.
Well, I kind of to counteract that, it kind of shows that everybody else gets it. They're there, they're eating lunch, and he is the only person that doesn't get it. He's like the guy that's like the guy that's trying to fight the current upstream, and everybody else just going with the flow. Hey, it's lunchtime, we'll have some lunch. It's all good, baby. But he's the
I
guy that's like,
suppose-
I hate this, that I can't get it at 11:30.
I can see that, but I know that he wanted one thing and he can't get it, and showing other people having it.
Yeah, no,
I
get it.
Why can't I get
Yep.
my breakfast sandwich?
They did the same bit in Big Daddy. Oh, there is an Adam Sandler cut for Richard. He's a huge Adam Sandler fan.
Absolutely.
No, I think you can get a burger at McDonald's at like 11 o'clock. There's like some overlap. I think. I don't know. I don't think
Can
they just-
anyone in the comments verify this? Can you?
I really
order,
don't know.
lunch during breakfast time.
I know now you can get breakfast at any time. You can get an egg
Because of
McMuffin.
this movie.
No, they just started like a few years ago. But
Hmm.
fun fact, you can only get the sandwiches. If you want a hash brown, forget it. You're stuck with French fries.
Hmm.
Because I went into a McDonald's on a trip. We were coming back from somewhere, and I got a coffee. And Sarah said, "You want anything to eat?" And I said, "You know what? They got breakfast all the time. Get me a hash brown. I'll have a hash brown with my coffee." And she came back. She's like, they do the sandwiches, but they don't do the hash brown at like 2 p.m. or whatever.
Hmm.
So there you go. Fun fact.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not a big Egg McMuffin person. I don't know.
I'm not any fast food thing. Although I have been having my Arby's lately because now I have.
Ooh, Arby's.
Yeah, because I have friends who will go to places with me now, and Sarah can't have Arby's, right? She just can't eat any beef. So the other day, we went to Arby's, and I had a beef and cheddar for the first time in like 20 years. And it was really good. My friends, they were ordering, I don't know, club sandwich, and they have some gyro wrap or whatever. I'm like, you're at Arby's, get a beef and cheddar. They're like, we're sick of beef and cheddars. We're getting that. And I'm like, I haven't been here in 20 years, so I'm getting the beef and cheddar.
Same for me. There was an Arby's in the mall, the local mall that I hung out in, and yeah, they'd have these greasy like roast beef?
Yeah, it's a roast beef
Sandwiches,
sandwich. Yeah.
right? And they had the curly fries, like they were kind of like spiced curly fries.
Yeah.
And they always had this thing with apple turnovers where they were always buy one get one free.
Oh, I've never had an apple turnover there.
No, I that's what I remember from Arby's. But yeah, it's been 20 something years since I've been able to enjoy it.
Sauce says he's so hungry he could eat at Arby's. Well, there you go.
Oh, what is that from? Is that a Simpsons quote?
I know Jon Stewart would say that all the time. He'd make fun of, McDonald's stopped all day breakfast. Okay. This was like last year sometime, or maybe 2 years ago.
I'm on the side of the business with this. It's like we're serving this from this time to this time. Come then. It's a clear enough rule.
I went into a restaurant the other day, and they came in. They said, "Are you here for breakfast or for lunch?" And everybody said lunch. And I said, "Well, I wouldn't mind seeing a breakfast menu if you have it." She's like, we stopped serving breakfast at so-and-so. We're only a small restaurant. It's like, stop there. It's okay. I don't need any explanation.
Yeah.
Just
that's the
you stop serving breakfast at a certain point. It's fine. It's okay. I'll have lunch. It's not a big deal. I go with the flow.
If you show up and they say we're stopping at 10:30 and it's 10:25 and they won't take your order, you got a right to complain. Right. 10:30. Yeah. That's the cutoff. Yeah. That's it. We got to switch. We got to clean the grills and start preparing this stuff.
Right.
We've only got one cooking station, you know.
Yes. Yeah. Believe it or not, I don't agree with a lot of what Michael Douglas was upset about in that movie. I enjoy the movie. I think it's great. It's a great social commentary and everything, but I don't exactly agree with him. I go with the flow. Whatever's happening, I'm good. It's all good.
You go with it. If you want breakfast all day, go to a diner. You're going to get a better breakfast anyway.
That is 100% true.
110%
true. I love diner breakfasts. Although my local diner stopped serving breakfast at 11 o'clock, and
my goodness!
I was like, come on, guys! You're a diner. You're supposed to have all day breakfast. But it's okay. It's okay. I go with the flow. I had a hamburger instead, and it was fine. Okay. That's it. That's enough. We talked for an hour and 40 minutes.
Was it that long? Wow.
It was, yeah, it was that long. Thank you to Steven in the chat. We had Rocket Sauce Ryan in the chat. We had Deke in the chat. And we had Mr. Planet of the Tapes himself in the chat. Chris Roberts. What do you think of that? It's pretty good. Pretty good talk. Good times.
I think I signed into this comment section and I didn't have to because I didn't type anything.
We'll type a comment right now. See what happens. He was quoting The Simpsons. I'm so hungry I can eat Arby's. I know Jon Stewart always rails on Arby's. He doesn't like Arby's for whatever reason. But, I guess they're not everybody's cup of tea. But, there you go. Ramvox is in the comments. He says, comment posted.
There you go. Glad I signed up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Steven still wants us to go for another hour because he has to work for another hour. Maybe do some work for an hour.
Oh, gosh.
Maybe. Why not? Give it a shot, Steven. See what happens.
Look around. You might find a box of something you can take home.
You got time to lean. You got time to clean, Steven. Get in there. All right. That's it. Goodbye.
Yeah. See you next time.
All right. Ending broadcast.